and welcome to today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast with your host, Lauren Tickner. Today we're going to be talking all about working from home and how to create the ideal home working environment that ensures you can have the most productive days as possible when you're working from home. This applies not only for solo entrepreneurs, but it also applies for those who are perhaps students and you have assignments that you need to do when you're working in your uni room, or whether you're working in your university halls or wherever the heck you are. If you're maybe still working in a job and your job sometimes calls for you to be working at home, maybe you're a parent and you choose to work from home rather than in the office because it suits your lifestyle more. Whatever it is, this podcast is perfect for anybody who has to sit there and do work inside of their house or inside of their uni halls, because these hacks are things that people don't often talk about, but they're so incredibly important and they are going to revolutionize your home working environment and make you so much more productive. Now, I do just have to say something new that I'm doing for the Business Meets Fitness podcast is sending you freebies to your email. So as well as the freebie covering all of the points that I talk about in the podcast, there are going to be added extras as well, including apps that I advise in order to become the most productive version of yourself, especially when you're working from home, and also 2 extra bonus hacks for your home office. So what you have to do to get that is just click the link in the show notes and it will take you straight to the form on the website. You just fill that right out, enter your email address and your name, and it will be delivered straight to you. And that freebie is so incredibly valuable. And I think that it's going to be something really cool that I'm going to start to do on every single solo episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast. So anyway, without further ado, let's just dive straight in to these hacks for working at home and for creating your home office. So number 1 is a morning routine. You need to make sure that you have a solid morning routine. I have done a whole entire episode on how to create a powerful and meaningful morning routine, and it may sound like woo-woo rubbish, but seriously, it seriously works. So go check that episode out. I'll leave that linked in the show notes as well. But just know that having a morning routine is so valuable. Now, a quick little hack that you can add into your morning routine is getting a wake-up light, okay? A wake-up light is so much nicer to wake up to than having an alarm. So I'll leave a link to the wake-up light that I use, that I swear by, and that wakes me up in a calm and just an awesome manner that gets me excited for the day. Now, I have to also say, when you're working from home, obviously, because you don't have a schedule, you are your own boss. You know, you can work when you like. You don't have anyone who's holding you accountable. You don't have to be in an office for a certain time. So this brings me on to my second point, and that is having structure. Look, even though you don't have hours, then you need to make hours for yourself. So look, you could say, all right, I'm going to work from 8 until 4 and these are my working hours. I get a 1-hour lunch break just like I would if I were in an office. Or you could split it up in a different way. You could maybe say, I'm going to work from 8 until 1 and then I'm going to work from 4 until 9 or whatever. Whatever suits you the best. Everyone's going to be totally different, but just set some sort of structure, because structure is so key. And look, when you're first starting out, it's going to be hard to have structure. So start small. Don't make yourself try and stick to something that's totally unrealistic. And also know at the same time, you don't need to be working for 16 hours a day. Taking breaks is super important. That is my third point. Take those breaks. Realistically, if you're working for, I don't know, let's just say 10 hours per day, but you find that you can't stay focused the whole entire time, the chances are you're probably only really getting 5 hours of output. So what may suit you better is to take a few more breaks, and when you're working for those 5 hours, really work, okay? So just make sure you're taking breaks, you're getting some fresh air, maybe even go for a walk, go to the gym, do something that's going to make you feel good. But at the same time, you don't want to be taking too many breaks. It's all about finding a balance that works for you. Because if you're taking a break to go and see your friend for lunch every single day, then realistically, you're probably taking a lot of time out of work that may be holding you back. So try a few different things, see what allows you to be the most productive, but know that you can be flexible. That's the whole thing with working for yourself and working at home. You are able to be flexible with your time. But at the same time, having structure is super important. So try a few things, see what works for you, and stick to what works for you. Because if your friends are wanting to meet up all the time and you're finding that, you're losing 4 hours a day, and in those 4 hours you feel like it's holding you back, then realistically you need to cut that off and maybe only do it once a week, perhaps every Thursday or every Friday or every Monday, whatever day suits you the best, but just stick to it one time per week and then really enjoy that time with your friends, and then the rest of the time, seriously focus. Brings me on to tip number 4. So hack number 4 is all about focus and avoiding distractions. Look, when you are working from home, you are the one that creates your own distractions. Unless you've got housemates who are really annoying and always barge in your room, then you know what you need to do for them. You need to tell them, leave me alone, I'm working, or just put a massive sign on your door saying, do not disturb, leave me alone, stop annoying me. Okay, so, but if you are working from your own home and you are by yourself the most of the day or whatever, literally turn the TV off. Turn the music off, turn the radios off, turn the podcast off. If you need to listen to something, listen to instrumentals, okay? Just any old instrumentals that suit you. Perhaps you like rap instrumentals or you like jazz or whatever you like. Just put those on if you need something to listen to. Personally, I don't listen to anything. I like total silence, because I know that when you work for yourself, you create your own distractions. And look, you need to just limit your distractions, okay? So what I do is I put my phone on charge away from my desk. It's not even next to me. I don't go on web WhatsApp because web WhatsApp is a dangerous hole to get into. I don't have any social media tabs open unless at that stage I'm actually working on something for social media. And literally, I just limit my distractions so that I can focus, so that I can seriously focus. So in the little freebie that I'm sending out via email, there is an app that I recommend massively for helping you avoid distractions on your phone. But if you want that, you need to make sure that you head over to the link in the show notes for this podcast so that you enter your name and email to get that freebie sent to you, because it's gonna seriously help you, as well as the other apps that I recommend. But just know, you make your own distractions. It's up to you whether you want to get distracted or not when you're working from home. So seriously, just put your phone away from you. Just don't even go for it. Media is seriously just a way to drain time. It is literally doing nothing for you unless you are the one who is creating the content, or you're listening to a really beneficial podcast and you're actually listening to something and consuming maybe a how-to video on YouTube or a podcast like this while you're going for a walk. It's actually an informative piece of content. The rest of the time, while you're just scrolling and watching random stuff or just randomly liking Instagram photos, that is not helping you, okay? So just know that doing this is not ideal. Look, you don't have someone watching over your shoulder the whole time like you would if you were sat in an office. So just know that you are your own boss. You should be the one who could control yourself. You are creating your own destiny. And if you have an assignment to get done for university, or you're working on a project, maybe you're building a new ebook that you want to sell to people and you know that it has so much valuable information that's going to help so many people, well, you are holding yourself back by scrolling through social media. The time you are spending on social media and the time that you are just wasting is literally just that. Think about how much output you could have in the time that you were using just doing stupid stuff. So again, the app that I seriously think is going to revolutionize your life is going to be sent to you if you join the freebie. Tip number 5 is splitting up your work and social life. So do not work at the same time as you're maybe seeing your friends or something. It might sound like a nice idea to have a work date, but that is probably just going to end up with you guys just chatting and gossiping and catching up with one another. So the best thing to do rather than that is literally, if you're going to go and socialize with your friends, go and socialize with your friends outside of the schedule that you've set for yourself, and the rest of the time focus on your work by yourself. Tip number 6 totally changed the game for me, and it was getting an office, getting an actual place to work. Now look, literally sitting in your room and doing all your work in your room, if maybe you are in a uni halls, or maybe you have just a room in your house and you don't have any other rooms to work in, it's just not very motivating, because it means that you're literally working like 2 meters away from where you sleep. So make your own home office if you can. If you can't, just skip this step and move on to step number 7. However, in your home office, what is amazing to have is obviously a desk. Then if you can, put another screen that you can connect your laptop to. Something that I recommend so much and that I will leave linked in the show notes, and that's also linked in the freebie, is something that raises your laptop, because then it means that you kind of you're not crouching over your desk. It means that your laptop's raised, and this is so beneficial for the health of your neck. Next thing is getting a comfortable chair. Now, I advise having a normal chair that's really, really comfy, and also a stool type chair that doesn't have a back. Again, I will leave the ones that I use linked in the show notes and also linked in the freebie so that you can get the exact ones that I use that really have massively helped my back health. So having these is amazing. Obviously, if you're creating social media content, then a microphone if you need that, and a camera and all that stuff. But in your home office, it's important that you have good lighting in there. You could even get one of those lights. That's one of those lights that helps you stay in a good mood, to make sure that the lighting is good, because these are super, super, super helpful, especially if you think you have seasonal annual depression. That's something that literally so many people get. I saw a statistic that's around 9 out of 10 people have it, and they may not even realize. It's like when in winter times, when it's dark and stuff, you feel just a lot more down than you would in summer. And so getting one of these lamps helps you stay in a positive mood. I'll again link one of them as well, just to make it easy for you so that you don't have to go Googling all this stuff. And if you'd like me to make a whole entire episode of how to make an optimal home office, then please do let me know. I could even put it on YouTube so that you could actually look inside my office, and I'll show you everything that I do in order to make my office the most productive it possibly can be. I also have a massive whiteboard, and I can show you how I break down everything on my whiteboard in order to become the most productive version of myself and get the most output out of my days as possible. So if you'd like to see that, then please do let me know, because feedback is always appreciated, because I am all about growing and developing and building this podcast into the most awesome resource for everything business meets fitness as possible. So please, please, please do let me know. But again, everything that I've said already will help you remain healthy and productive as much as possible. And then sometimes it can even be a good idea to step out of your home office. Now, personally, I am not someone who ever feels the need. I am a massive introvert, despite the fact that I do a podcast and I do all this social media stuff. I am genuinely an introvert. I like to be by myself, just shout out to all my homies who are the same. But hey, I don't like this tip for myself, but I know a lot of people who love it. But it's getting out of your house and going and working somewhere. Now, revolutionary app that I'm going to share with you, and I'm not just saving this one for the freebie, I'm also going to share it with you. It's called Wi-Fi Map, and this is an app. Again, I'll link it, but Wi-Fi Map shows you all the places on a map that have Wi-Fi and the most recent password. It is amazing. Seriously, stop slow. I'm not even just saying this. It's just revolutionary, and you're going to absolutely love it. So I'm leaving you with that. That is how I'm going to end today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast. This was a Tickness Tips episode, because every episode that is solo is Tickness Tips. And for any recommendations for Tickness Tips that you would like to see, then make sure to hashtag Tickness Tips and share a post, and just let me know what it is that you want to see, the question that you have, and I will try and answer it on the Business Meets Fitness podcast as a sneaky little Tickness Tips feature. But for the extra bonus tips and for all the apps that I recommend for, when you're working from home and you want to be more productive and all that type of stuff, make sure to head to the show notes so that you don't miss out on getting this awesome, and I repeat, awesome freebie, because it's amazing. And again, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram story, maybe even tweet, tag me at Lauren Tickner, tag at Business Meets Fitness, and if you'd be able to leave a review on the iTunes store. I am going to be doing some giveaways when we hit 100 reviews. We're at around 60 at the moment, so leave a review. I'd love to see it. Get your friends to review. all that fun stuff. Share it with somebody who you think may help you. Even share it with your colleagues. Maybe if you are someone who works in an office and you've got some pals who also work from home, and maybe if you're a boss and you have, people that work for you who work from home sometimes, share this with them because it could help increase their output. So that is that for today. Again, every time you share it, it makes my day. Let me know who you want to see interviewed on the podcast. Let me know what other solo episodes you like. And I will see you in the next episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast. And just before you go, you can sign up to Impact Through Influence by clicking the link, which is next to Impact Through Influence in the show notes. This is my new personal branding course that I'm bringing out. It's going to be amazing. It is launching on the 31st of March. And if you are listening to this before the 31st of March, 2018, you can get $200 off and a free productivity bolt-on course upon launch if you sign up to the email list now. So make sure to do that. And if you do enroll later on, then you are still going to be getting as much awesome information because I'm keeping the price low on version 1.0. So I will see you in the next episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast.